Yeah.
I'm all alone. She's up and gone and left me. Finding Nemo. Okay. 4Q with 2 minutes and 30 seconds plus 300 times 12 seconds. That is the weirdest time settings I've ever seen. Hello, have fun. The time is weird. Alright, so 4Q. So what are we going to learn? That's loud. Okie dokie. And we're just playing normal. I need to turn that off. My bad. It's okay. You forget something literally every single time. Ow. Mm-mm. 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 60 times 10 seconds is probably on KGS. This is fine. So I'm gonna go here now. You should probably, yeah. Is it cold?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. White needs one more move on top. Someone doesn't know Joseki. If black plays M17, I play a diagonal. He peeps, I connect. He goes up, I honey. He plays an empty triangle, and I play a knight's move, and he's dead. Can I analyze the game? Analyze game. So, I'm gonna go here. So, if he goes here, doink, 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 doink. That's a dead shape. The only thing to worry about is this move, but, I mean, it's if I want to fix it or not. But, that's the way to kill it if it goes in. But with these two outside stones, then M18 is a thing. But, whatevs. Push towards thickness, or make my corner bigger. Nope, push towards thickness.
10, 9, 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8.
What
7
is happening?
6, 5, 4, 3.
Is she going to be counting the rest of the game? Oh my gosh.
10, 9, 8, 7. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6.
This is going to get so annoying. I'm going to turn my sound
10,
down a lot.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 4. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 6. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.
Doot 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 doot.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1. 10, 10, 9. 10,
Doot, doot,
9,
doot.
8, 7. 10, 10, 9.
Please, settings. Hold on, can I just mute it right now? Wait. What is it? There, I'll mute it right now. But normally the countdown is very, very important for me to be able to hear. Ooh, he wants to fight. I'll fight in here. This is more complicated than it should have been. I should have just Atari'd and then just ran him out, and then I could just ladder this. It'd be much easier. But then he would get a diagonal, maybe? No, I could still run him out. It'd be fine. Yeah, I made this more complicated than it should have been. Let's moyo. And I have like 25, 30. About 30 points. That's fine. I mean, I could have fought a Ko here, but I just don't like risking the life of these stones when these 3 stones are weak if I just get the bamboo. So I kind of gave up the Ko here for a bamboo. Really? So I'm going to attack this. Lots of weakness, lots of weakness. Now I can always connect these in Sente and then cut here, which is nice. So white's much stronger than black in this area, so white can attack. Let's lower that. Rolling in the goat. You're at 30,000? Oh my gosh. White has double shape? I feel like I'm attacking everything. And I push black to the first and second line. So I don't know if my shape's horrible. That's a cut. Just keep Nobi, just keep Nobi. Alright, so now he's getting Mayo. Not much though. But yeah, okay, I'll fix that. Wanna fight me? Ooh. Now we're talking. I miss my stone clicky sounds. There's weight groups that you are ignoring to do this. Uh-huh. Introvix, it's not that I forgot, it's just he's a 4Q, and with 4Qs you have to be very careful, because I'm only a 1-don, don't forget. I'm only a 1-don. And so right now, it's like, I need to fight. And so it's harder to hold back against a 4Q, because if I hold back even slightly too much, he'll get the advantage and win. I mean, he's not weak. Even though I'm winning the fights, it's because, yes, I'm reading deeper than he is, but if I don't read, I'm going to die. Like, very easily. He's actually set up several traps for me throughout this game for me to die. So it's actually not as easy, I think, as I'm making it look. That's why it's actually a lot more difficult to hold back against someone stronger than, like, someone like 5Q and stronger. It's really difficult for me to hold back against, because if I make a mistake, I'll lose. Knowing to use your strength. Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. I'm not sure. I can't say. It may also be because I've been trying, when, like, I'm playing my rated games, I've been trying to take advantage of weakness more often. So even during my rated games, I've been really focusing on weakness and how important it is. So it might be a combination of the fact that I've been trying to study again and really get into punishing weaknesses. So I don't know. Alright. That. Yeah, it's about 90%, I think. It's a fine line. Gambling addiction. Da, 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 da. Oh crap. I thought he already connected. I went to click. Huh. Hmm. Uh-oh. I might accidentally kill him. I was trying to kill one stone, but he's trying to save it, which might end up killing this whole group. Oh no, there's way out. Oh darn. Oh darn. Ah, my stones are gonna die. Okay, okay. Okay, I didn't read far enough on that one. It worked out, but I didn't read far enough. I think the game's about done. So, resign. Yes. Review. Okay, I want my sound back. Okay. Review this game. Okie dokie. Time to review. Are you on Twitch chat? Can you hear me on Twitch chat? Oh. Okay, so he's gonna rejoin. Alrighty. Let's see. Yep. So far, so normal. This one's strange. Normally, you go here. And then I can go here, and then you go here, and then I go here, and you go here. And then I can come out and we can start a big fight. And if you don't like that one, then you can always, if you don't like that one for white, you can always go here. And then I think black can go here. I forget this one. Or black can just jump. And then white can just kill it, I believe. How do I kill it? I think it's here. Yeah, I think that's it. For those who don't know, if white plays this diagonal and black ignores, that stone is dead, because if black tries to come out immediately, I go here, and then here, and then Hane, and then here, and then knight's move. Those stones are dead. I don't know. I lose to 1Qs and 2Qs all the time. What are you talking about? Alright, so that's the common variation. So this move is a little strange. If white wants to, white can simply fix like this. And maybe I should have deer in the game just for like less Aji. But I think this position, you're not attacking white enough. You're letting white settle too easily. And if you let your opponent settle too easily on your side, then it becomes very easy for your opponent to deal with the rest of the board. So now you only have like maybe 30 points, and I have like 6, so you only got 25 points more than me up there, so I just need 25 points down here, and it should be fine. And it becomes easy to invade on top or the left, because I have no weakness. So you should leave some weakness behind, I think. Someone mentioned I should go here. This is possible, because this one also opens up some Aji around here. And it also fixes the Aji on the inside. So that's possible. Alright, so black goes here, perfectly fine. I don't know about 3 spacing right here. Because here white already has the knight's move. And so you don't really have much to use. So I would say just settle. Or maybe an attach might be possible. It's a little bit far, though. It is a little bit far. So, what's wrong with just an approach? I guess you don't like the moyo. I mean, wedge is fine. Wedge is fine. Maybe just settle. There's also this move. Which is pretty easy to use. But you gave me a lot of thickness in that center. This variation gives white a lot of thickness. And so I'm never worried about a moyo. This move tells me you either been watching too much AlphaGo or even Stevens. I would do a far approach if I was going to. This move, it's either you study too much AlphaGo or you're way too territorial. So not only have you given me thickness at A, but you're going to give me thickness at B. And yes, it's my choice if I get Sente or not. This is too greedy for territory. I mean, white has to get something. White only has the bottom left and the top. So I only have like 20 points. And I need like 30 to keep up with you. So yes, I have to get at least 10 points at the bottom right. It's white's right to get points there. White has so many stones there, white should get it. But to cancel out the influence, I would say probably you want to play something along this side. That way we both trade some points. You get some points too. Open sides is fine. I have seen Leela, like since you have some weakness here, I have seen Leela play like right here if you wanted to approach this corner. That way you kind of attack M3 while destroying the points in this corner. This is probably an easier way to destroy points than the 3-3. This is just Gote. This is just simply Gote. This exchange I think is worth doing. That 1-2 exchange I think is worth doing. That way you can get all these Ataris if you need them. And you also get 1 and 2. The difference between 1 and 2 is very important. I was actually thinking maybe I should have exchanged here first and then went out, but I didn't like my liberties. So, I don't know. But I definitely thought that white should get something there since black didn't do it. This move, maybe it was a bit greedy, but I read I was fine, and I was just getting thickness. But I don't see why you played this one. If you're going to play something here, I would say just go for this, this, and then this. The worst white's going to get is the corner, right? There's nothing wrong with this. So I don't see why you just don't push it 3 and 5. I think you're trying to be too fancy to connect, and fancy people go broke. Spam reductions. Alright, so my advice for you. Spam reductions can win you games, but eventually you're just going to hit a roadblock. Because strong players, like all strong players, can deal with spam reductions because we've all faced those types of players where all they do is invade and all they do is steal your points and never let you have any points. I'm going to recommend you stop doing that. Go is a game of exchanges. You cannot prevent everything. What I did notice is that you have a lot of contact fights, but I also noticed in those contact fights you make a lot of assumptions. What this tells me is that you play a lot of these little trick plays or these little spammy invasion moves, and you play a lot of aggressive type moves, but you only play them against your level or weaker, because these types of moves will never work against someone stronger. Someone stronger is going to say, okay, if you want to start a fight in this area, I'm going to trade with you and get 2 points more than you. That's all you have to do. If you are strong, you can deal with these spammy invasions by just making exchanges. For example, he said, I'm going to steal the 3-3, right? So I was like, oh, if I want to keep my points, if I get greedy and say I'm going to keep my points, then he's going to simply do something like this in Sente. And now, all of a sudden, you can see that, yes, white got some points, but black got 10 points in Sente, and then he can come out and kill the thickness and pretty much make my entire corner useless. I lost my advantage in that corner this way. This is, of course, what black wants. But if white just says, okay, you can have the corner, right? I'm going to just get Sente and go get 10 points on the side, and you only have 6 points in the corner. You wouldn't exchange the Hane? I mean, the exchange of the Hane is like a minor problem. The point here is, the stronger you get, the more important 1 or 2 point exchanges become. So what this means is, you have to be okay with your opponent getting something. You just want to get more. So it's okay if white gets something on his side of the board. It's his right. He had stones there first. He should get something. What you're trying to do is just make him get as little as possible while you also get something. So you need to focus more on the exchanges of the fights rather than trying to prevent stuff. Don't only look at stealing your opponent, stealing what your opponent's trying to get. Look at what is your opponent getting, what are you getting, who's getting more. If it's your opponent, then you can stop it. If it's you, keep doing it. I don't want to say it like that. I would say you are very greedy in the fact that on your side of the board, you're like, I'm going to get all of my points and make it super solid so you can't invade me. And then on your opponent's side of the board, you're going to invade everywhere. This is a style, but it's not a very good one. And that is because if your opponent knows how to reduce you on your side of the board, then all of your like super territory moves are going to be super slow. Because all I see on top is maybe 25 points. The A area is worth 10 or 15 at most, and this is worth 10 or 15. So I would say one of these, let's say B gets 15. A, I only see 10. C is not points yet. I can still invade that. I know that because I've invaded it before, and I know how to invade. So, yes, if, for example, if it was you and you were white, you could invade that. I'm sure you could, because you invade all the time on your opponent's side. And if your opponent's position was like that on top, you would invade that, probably. So that's not points yet. So that means you only have 25 points on top. White only needs 25 points more than you on the bottom. And I've already gotten like 25 total, and you've only gotten like 6. So I've got A, B, and then all you got was C. And then I have the thickness at D to potentially build in the future, and you don't. So here's the thing. If both players are trading territory equally, whoever has control of the center is winning. So you have to balance trading territory and influence. So on your side, you didn't care about the influence at all. You went straight up, I'm going to get my territory so you can't invade. And then on your opponent's side, I'm going to invade everywhere. It doesn't quite work that way. You have to make trades. You have to say, I'm going to get some points on my side while also keeping some influence. And then on your side, I'm going to give you some points while preventing some influence. You need to trade more. So you're a little bit too greedy with the invasions, yes. But it's not horrible. I don't want to say it's horrible because you have a very good mentality. And by that, I mean you're not afraid to fight. You're not afraid to duke it out. Like, this shows me you're willing to look for Tsujis. You're willing to read things through and try and attack any weakness you find. That's a very good mentality. The way to improve it is to simply make it more solid and more straightforward. For example, yes, White has a lot of cutting points and a lot of liberty issues. I traded that for the Moyo. But you tried to attack it from the second line and try to threaten, try to connect your groups and said, I'm going to connect and then I'll destroy your influence in the next move. And if you want to try to cut me, I dare you because I'm going to maybe do something to you. For example, when I tried to go here, you tried to push and cut me. That was a really good idea. But it's a little too soft. The way to improve that is simply go like this. It's much more solid. It's much more straightforward. And White doesn't have nearly as much Moyo. So be more solid when you're taking advantage of Aji, and be more powerful. That means take a strong stance and do real damage. I'm not sure how to explain that better actually. It stays strong while being severe. It's hard to understand that if you don't understand it. But once it clicks, it'll click. But if you try to pick a fight when you don't have, like, a good standing... So, for example, in a fist fight, if your feet placement is bad, or your foot placement is bad, then you're going to get knocked off balance, and then you're going to get counterattacked, and you're going to lose the fight. So you need a strong foundation to fight with. You need a good, position. You need a good stance. And then you can fight a lot stronger. And you can take advantage of your opponent's weaknesses a lot more effectively. But if you start fighting with a lot of loose shape like this... yeah, float like a horse face, hit like a Panuki. If you start using loose shape like this, then what happens if I do something like this? Right? I was actually looking at this one a second ago. Yeah, sure, you can probably connect. But at the end of the day, who cares? White has a lot of thickness and you got no points. You connected, which is good. You just lost like 6 to 8 points to do it. Because White has a minimum of 6 points of thickness here. And you gained 1 point? Maybe 2? You gained very few points here. Because there's a lot of forcing moves I can do. So you lose the corner for a few points right here. But I get a lot of forcing moves. And I got the thickness. So the connection here just isn't worth it. Like, I would rather run than live on the second line like that. Because the exchange rate is too good for my opponent. So if White gets just 6 points for free like that, then rather than this, assuming I can't connect, I would make this exchange, make sure my corner's alive, and then just run in the center. Now the exchange rate is 0 for both, rather than 6 for you and 1 for me. So yes, you don't connect, but the exchange rate's better. And that's why I'm saying you need to focus on the exchanges more. I will say this was really good resistance, but your reading needs to go a little bit further. I guess that's easy to say from my position. But you need a lot of reading to play the way you're playing. But I really like the mentality. I was actually thinking that I should have gone here instead. You can make this exchange, which is fine. But as soon as you run out, I'm going to Atari. Atari. And then you can see it's a lot stronger for white. So I think actually white could have played a stronger shape here than I did in the game. Like, I had the nose to Tsuji, which worked. It was just unnecessarily complicated. So I also made the same mistake that I'm telling you that you're making. So it's just maybe at a higher level. But it's not just you. So don't worry about changing your style too much. Just stay stronger when you're taking advantage of weaknesses. And don't be afraid if your opponent gets something. You were planning on dumping these stones? Then you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done this Atari right here. If you're going to dump these stones, then just Atari and connect. Oh, I see. You can't do this. You can't do this. No, this is bad then. Simply go here. If you're going to connect, then just connect. And you can save the Aji for later. But you're trying to leave Aji behind, which is not a terrible idea. It just may not be the best idea. Because you gave me a lot of points all so you could cut this and leave Aji. So before you could have reduced, but now I have A, and A's not small because it fixed all the invasions on the right. All the Aji, like right here, is gone. I have a very strong Panuki, and you have a weak group in the center. So instead of trying to leave Aji behind, just leave it and just fix. One move fix. Once you're strong and settled, then take advantage of all the Aji. This move is a very good catch because it forces me to run out. It's not worth fighting the Ko. This move was a little too close to thickness. This one, you're trying to invade too deep next to thickness because you got to realize white is super, super strong right now. So A is like this very gigantic Panuki. B is perfectly fine because white has this sequence. So because of this sequence, white is perfectly fine. I am not worried about that group at all. So A and B are super strong. This means you played C next to two very strong groups. That is very dangerous. Rather than this move, if you want to reduce, play a move that's a little bit safer, but also accomplishes your goal. This one is very easy to connect back to, and then if I try and just jump up, then you can play a little bit Sabaki, and now you can see you're reducing the thickness a lot more effectively while also staying strong. So I think you need to work on checking your own weaknesses a little bit more. This push, this diagonal push for the Knight's move is not normally a good move. Because unless you're going to cut the Knight's move, you don't want to push the Knight's move. If you wanted to play the attach, then just play the attach. You can do the attach without that push like all day long. But this push lowers your liberties, and if you're not going to cut, then it doesn't really do anything. So I actually have a double Hane, and I can still Hane, so it didn't change anything. It just lowered your own liberties and gave you an almost empty triangle, or gave me a free Atari. So if you're going to do that, the better shape is to just attach. And then you can just Nobi. And it's perfectly fine. It's no different than the game. It's just you don't have this push right here, which gives white an Atari. The cuts don't work, so it's not really much of a point. Here, fix this cut. This is very important. So if we compare this to this, maybe you think that black's stronger, but white's stronger too, and white gets on the outside. So white gets the first move on the outside right here. But if you compare that to this one, here white has a cut and a lot of forcing moves, so white's probably going to either push or connect. And then black can play Sabaki. And if white pushes, then black can play an Atari. And then a little bit more Sabaki. Sabaki here would be really nice, because you're really too close to thickness to play just normal moves. But leaving me this cut, this is too many points. You gotta learn to love territory. And there's no way out for those stones. So you gotta fight the Ko. You gotta fight the Ko. You cannot let me get 10 points here for free. Yeah, this This is too powerful for white. And I'm just going to no-bead straight down and kill those stones. I don't care if 3 stones live. So at this point, I think it's practically game over. So let's see. You have 15, 30, maybe 40 points. Let's say 55. I can do a more exact count. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 68, 40, 42, 40, maybe 44, 46, 58, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62. Maybe, so about 60. White has 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60. Okay, so white's up by coming. So it's not game over yet. But there's something I never took advantage of in the game. And that is this move, which clearly cuts the entire group off. Which will eventually let me destroy... Like, if we go out, it'll eventually let me destroy this area very easily. So I never took advantage of that one, because I was like, I'm already ahead. Let's just leave it at that. So I just went and got points. You saw it the whole time. Fix it. If you see a weakness, don't just hope your opponent doesn't play it or hope your opponent doesn't see it. And don't hope that I don't play the Sente variation in the bottom right corner. And pray the teaching him without stop you. That's very, very, very bad mentality. You cannot hope your opponent doesn't see it. You cannot hope that something doesn't happen. You have to fix it. You cannot take that chance. It's way too high risk because the chance of your opponent seeing it is very likely if you see it and your opponent's anywhere around your level. So if you can see it, you should assume your opponent can also see it. Otherwise, you're just hoping, you're playing and gambling. And Go isn't a gambling game. Go is a planning game. Do not hope your opponent doesn't see something. It's very, very bad strategy. So, it's not to sound harsh or anything. It's just very important that you change the mentality. For example, here, you have the weak group. You see it now, right? So you're like, oh, my opponent didn't see my weakness. I've got to fix it. How can I fix it? Well, for starters, you can go right here and threaten the attack on this group. Yes, this group can fix it very easily, but all of a sudden, you fix this group in Sente. So see if you can fix it in Sente. If not, then don't. It's fine. But you can just fix it in Gote. That's fine. But you have to fix it. You can't just simply say, I'm hoping my opponent doesn't see it. Debating the Knight's move, to be honest. If you want to fix, the most effective way is to take advantage of something. So, for example, there's a lot of forcing moves right here. At minimum, you could go with something like this. Like, if you want to fix... Oh, not there. If you want to fix, try to fix in a way that takes advantage of... Oh, when I pincered. Oh, you were debating here. This is possible, but don't forget that this has this exchange. So white is not very scared right there. Not at the moment. And, I misread that a little bit. That was dumb. But, it's very easy for white to fight here. White has all kinds of thickness support. But maybe a knight's move would be a little bit easier. It's just what happens if I try to go for a double attack. Like, what if I try to sacrifice and then kill you? This is bigger for white than it is for black. I can trade that group. You want to kill me? Fine. Then I'll just play some endgame and reduce and reduce and reduce. All of a sudden, I got more than you. Pray. Yeah, so... Oh, it was really funny. I think around this time, the chat was actually saying... It was like this time or a little bit later, the chat was actually saying... this is supposed to be a teaching game. Why aren't you holding back? And I was like, I am holding back. I'm not attacking this. I'm just winning. I was trying to explain that 4Qs are not weak. 4Qs are still pretty strong. If you give them an opening, they'll take advantage of that opening. So I'm still defending my weak groups, and I'm taking advantage of small, minor things. But I didn't take advantage of the big thing, guys. I actually did hold back a little bit. That's because I'd already killed these 4 stones, so I was secured. But before that, I wasn't quite holding back because it was scary. And go is scary. The jump is not the point. Tiger's Mouth is the Vita point. Tiger's Mouth is the Vita point. If you watch my videos or lessons, you'll hear that a lot. Tiger's Mouth is Vita point. I actually don't like my moves here. I was actually thinking I was going to have to fight you somewhere. Because I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I should have just, attacked the right group. Like, I knew I could because this group is weak, but I was like, if I don't attack this group, then this is going to be really difficult. So I think you should have taken the Tiger's Mouth, and it would have been a lot more difficult on white. Stay strong, keep white weak. Stay strong and play the Vita point. Stay strong and play severe. That's the way to attack weakness. And then came the biggest mistake of the game, or one of the... another really big mistake. And that is, you Tanuki'd a weak group. I guess you were trying to save this now, but this was very, very large. To the point where you almost died. And I'll say, yeah, I should have read this more. If I read this more, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, I'm going to take the points. You can connect in Dame, and I'll just take the points. I mean, if I read it more, I probably could have done something like that, but I also wanted to connect and get eyes, so maybe my plan was okay. And then I start playing end game. At this point, white's just ahead, and then the end game just kind of seals the deal. Okay, so conclusions. Conclusions are your shape is a little flimsy for what you're trying to do. Didn't see the Hane. Didn't see the Hane. Oh. For what you're trying to do, your shape is a little flimsy. So what I would recommend is stay stronger when you're weak. When you're trying to take advantage of stuff, don't forget that you don't need to kill him or to kill white on white's side of the board. You just need to live efficiently. It's an exchange. So stay strong and maybe take advantage of weakness while staying strong, and that'll be perfectly fine. But you're trying a little bit too hard to take advantage of too much weakness. And that is because you're very aggressive, which is a great mindset. I think your mindset's great, but you're too loose. So stay stronger when you're trying to take advantage of weakness. Also, don't go invasion crazy. Pay more attention to the exchanges. What are you exchanging? That's what's more important than trying to steal all the points. Taking points is cool if you can, and if your opponent plays slow, then yeah, you can reduce and take advantage very quickly and very easily. But don't go crazy with the invasions, like the 3-3 in the bottom right when you have a weak group on the bottom left. That was a little much. It also gave white a lot of thickness instead of just approaching on the most open side, which is the basics. Basics tells us most open side. So the right side was clearly bigger than the 3-3, but you didn't want me to have anything, and I ended up getting more than what I should have gotten. Because you could have exchanged and it would have been even, but instead I got more than you, so the scale of points was greater in my favor. So don't be so hasty to invade everything. Reducing is sometimes good enough if you can build something equal to it. So pay more attention to the scale of points or the exchange rate of points. And stay stronger with your shape. Right now your shape's too flimsy. And by that I mean there's too many cutting points, there's too many holes, and too much Aji to take advantage of. And you're leaving weaknesses behind, hoping your opponent doesn't see that. Very bad mindset. Just stay strong and attack Aji when you can. You can't always attack the Aji immediately. Sometimes you have to save it and fix yourself first. But you need to keep your shapes stronger. You need stronger shapes. Your shapes are too flimsy right now. and don't be so invasion crazy. So what I would recommend is invade less, reduce more, and make sure that you don't have cutting or bad shapes. Really pay attention to your shapes. If you do those two things and keep your mentality to take advantage of all your opponent's mistakes when you can, I think you'll do great. Because your mentality to destroy your opponent's position or to destroy your opponent's shapes is great. I think that's really strong mentality. But you can't do it when you have a lot of weakness. You have to wait and be patient. So reduce more, stay stronger, but don't lose the mentality to destroy stuff when you can. I think your mentality is good. And if you want some advice for fixing things, if you see your opponent has weakness next to your weakness, sometimes fixing yourself in Sente is the greatest profit. That's if you were here when I was telling Kara the 3 profits, then the 3 profits are take something, make something, or save something. If there's a weakness and you save your weak group in Sente by attacking that weakness with a strong shape, then that's plenty of profit. That means you fixed it in Sente, you have no more Aji, and you get to go play somewhere else, and you fixed it, and so your opponent will never be able to do anything to that shape again. Fixing stuff in Aji is very powerful. So don't be afraid to take advantage of weakness when you're trying to fix. Just make sure you're actually fixing when you do it. Play a strong shape to fix in Sente. And I think that would be very powerful if you can do that. Anyway, I know I may not be very good with words, but I'm hoping these concepts make sense. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that review, and hopefully you found it helpful. And let's see, it's about 7 o'clock, so I'm going to get off and take a break before coming back at 9, because also I'm going to take a break, and then I have to do a lot of setup stuff with Yunyong. So in 2 hours, we are going to have... yeah, this will definitely get recorded later. In 2 hours, we are going to have a pro come online and on stream and play Kawaru Nagisa 6th Dan. So you'll see a 4-Dan pro play a 6th Dan. And she's very strong. She's in the top 10 female professionals in Korea. I also saw that she recently beat Rui Naiwei, if Go Kifu's correct. If Go Kifu's correct, then I saw a game record where she actually beat Rui Naiwei, which is quite interesting. Rui Naiwei is the #1 female player in the world. So that's pretty good. But maybe Rui Naiwei's not at her best. I don't know. It could be argued. But either way, at minimum, Yunyong's very, very, very strong. So she will be on at 9 p.m., which is in 2 hours from now. But be sure to tune back in then, and hopefully I will get a banner. Everyone make sure I get a banner at 9 p.m. if I don't get one. So, and hopefully you guys will come back in 2 hours and join the stream. To drink NOS or not? Endgame at move 42. What a shame. What is that? Here's a parting note, a parting thought for you guys. Let's see. This is move 100, right? As soon as this fight finishes, right? As soon as this fight finishes, White starts endgame. A banner on OGS. So here's some food for thought for you guys for hanging out. Oh, gotcha. Food for thought. After move 100, the endgame is about to start. After move 100, the endgame may very well be close. Many players don't play endgame until like move 150 or 170. But I would like to argue that more often than not, the endgame falls closer to move 100 than move 150. Now, granted, at move 100, we were finishing a fight, so this is move 110. So it's 10 moves after move 100. I started playing endgame. So, a little after move 100 and maybe a little before move 100, but approximately somewhere around move 100, the end game may very well start. And this can be a very useful guideline if you are having trouble getting to the end game quickly. So finish the fight and then start the end game after move 100 or around move 100. Finish the fight and go ahead and start end game. But that is my food for thought for the end of this stream. But yeah, I'm going to take a break and I will be back in 2 hours. So hopefully I will see all of you guys in 2 hours.